Welcome everybody to Wings of a Dove. I have changed my channel name. That will be my name from here on out. Today is June the 5th, Tuesday, 2018. Been a while, guys, since I have been on here with anything from the Lord. I have received many things from the Lord. I have took some personal time off. The Lord has done some things with me, and in the process, some healing. But at the same time, the Lord has also shown me many things, and has also released me at this time to give some of those things to you guys. So I am going to be on here quite often from here on out. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Of course, always remember, if you have any prayers, please leave them in the comments, and I will intercede for you. What I'm going to go over with you guys is 1 Samuel chapter 17. It will be verses 35 through 50. I'm going to go into the battle between David and Goliath and give you guys the revelation of what the Lord has given me about this, and how it relates to where we are right now in these end times and in this season that we are in. I'm going to begin by reading these verses to you guys. We're going to start with verse 39. David strapped Saul's sword over his garments and tried to walk, but he was not used to the armor. David told Saul, "I can't walk in these because I'm not used to them," and then took them off. He took his staff in his hand and chose for himself 5 smooth stones from the brook and put them in the pouch in his shepherd's bag. He approached the Philistine with his sling in his hand. With a man carrying his shield in front of him, the Philistine kept coming closer to David. When the Philistine looked and saw David, he had contempt for him, because he was only a young man. David had a dark, healthy complexion and was handsome. The Philistine asked David, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" Then the Philistine cursed David by his own gods and told David, "Come to me. I'll give your flesh to the birds of the sky and to the beasts of the field." Then David told the Philistine, "You come at me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of the heavenly armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This very day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and remove your head from you. And this very day I'll give you the dead bodies of the Philistine army to the birds of the sky and to the animals of the earth, so that all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel. And this whole congregation will know that the Lord does not deliver by sword or spear. Indeed, the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." When the Philistine got up and came closer to meet David, David quickly ran to the battle line to meet the Philistine. David reached his hand into the bag, took out a stone, slung it, and struck the Philistine in his forehead. The stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell on his face to the ground. David defeated the Philistine with a sling and a stone. He struck down the Philistine and killed him, and there was no sword in David's hand. As we read these verses and we look at this battle that David had with Goliath, David didn't go into this battle with fleshly armor. We see back in verse 38 and 39 that Saul had put these garments on David, and he placed a bronze helmet on his head, and he put armor on him. But David was not used to wearing the armor. He couldn't walk. He wasn't used to them, so he took them off, and he had, told Saul, he said, he didn't need that armor. Um, he just picked up his slingshot and picked up the 5 stones and said, I'm going to go with my God and I'm going to face this Philistine and I'm going to be victorious. So David didn't need the fleshly armor. All he needed in the battle was his God, was the anointing of God. And God was with David, and it was God's anointing on David, and of course David's faith and knowing who his God was, that got David the victory over Goliath. And the Lord had pointed this out to me, that when we walk into battles and when we run into giants in our own life sometimes, we have to remember that we cannot prepare ourselves carnally or in the flesh. We have to prepare ourselves for our battles from the armor of God, from knowing who God is, and the anointing of God and his power, and knowing the enemy and his schemes and his tactics and his plans, and knowing that when we go in to face these battles, that God causes us to get the victory. We do not fight the demonic realm or any other battles with fleshly or carnal ways or weapons. We, as children that belong to the heavenly kingdom, we go in with the anointing of God and knowing who our God is. And this is what David did, and David got the victory and won his battle and accomplished everything that he had told the Philistine or told Goliath that he was going to do. He was very confident in knowing who he was and knowing that his God was going to be with him and he was going to have the victory. So what I want to express to you guys today is we're in a season, and we're going to get ready to come up in a season. We're going to be facing many battles. The enemy is going to be coming at us like a roaring lion. And the Lord had given me a word. And I'm also going to put that word up for you guys at the end of this video for you guys to read. The Lord had given me a word. It was very encouraging, that the enemy is going to come as a roaring lion, but God is going to give us the strength of David, and we're going to get victory. We are coming upon a season where judgment has begun, and it's going to get worse. We're going to see a lot of destruction, but at the same time, we are also going to be sent out to bring this last harvest in for these end times, and to bring people to the Lord before the Lord comes back. And we are going to come and be faced with a lot of battles, and the enemy is going to try to hinder us, and he is from doing that. So right now, we have, some of us have been in a season of preparation. We've been going through some healing. The Lord has been preparing us for what is to come, because it is very close. And we are going to see more destruction come as time goes on. We're already seeing, Kilauea's already went off now. The volcano in Guatemala's went off. We're seeing, a lot of volcanic activity. We're seeing a lot of earthquake activity. It's just the beginning. We're also seeing changes in the weather, and we have been for a while. The earth is going through some changes, but at the same time that our earth is shifting and going through changes, there's also a shift that's happening in the heavens, because what goes on in the supernatural, always manifests in the natural as well. So what we are seeing right now is the beginning of a paradigm shift taking place. And the Lord had given me a word about that as well. So, heads up, everybody. Battles will come, but we have the victory. Let's stay alert and let's focus on the Lord, and let's listen for His instruction, because as we progress and move on and more destruction comes, the Lord is going to give us instructions on what to do as far as ministering to people and bringing in this last harvest. So it's very important that we listen to the Lord and we listen for His instructions and let us guide us through what He has called us to do. I am going to leave the word that the Lord gave me at the end of this video. Once again, if you guys have any prayers, please leave them in the comments. Always praying for you guys. And let's just remember to, keep our ears open, eyes open. Let's listen to the Spirit. And let's just know that we are God's children and we already have the victory. And we are overcomers. God bless, guys. Take care.